Hi, so today I'm going to introduce you the models of North American cities. Basically, there are three types of these models, including concentric zone model, the sector model, and finally the multiple nuclei model. And I will go through these three types of models with you together. Now let's talk about the concentric zone model. This model was created by Ernest Burgess in 1925. Based on the human ecology theory done by Burgess and applied on Chicago. This model was the earliest theoretical model to explain distribution of social groups within urban areas. The model depicts urban land usage in concentric rings. So in the model, the zones identified are: first, the central business district. It locates in the center of the model. Second, transition zone. The third, blue-collar residential. The fourth one is the middle-income residential, and last, the fifth one is the commuter residential. This model influenced later developments of the sector model and the multiple nuclei model. So now let's talk about the sector model. This model was created by Homer Hoyt in 1939. It is a model of the internal structure of cities, in which social groups are arranged around a series of sectors, radiating from the central business district. It is the modification of the concentric zone model. And the benefits of this model is it includes the fact that it allows for our progression of growth. Also, the difference between this model and the concentric zone model is that the low and high rent areas could extend to the outer edge. So in the model, we can see that the lower class residential, the upper class residential, and industrial zones are extending outside from the circle. Also, the industrial zones are accounted for the sectors, which the concentric zone model doesn't. Now let's move to the multiple nuclei model. It was created by Harris and Ullman in the 1945 article named The Nature of Cities. It is a model of urban land use in which a city grows from several independent points rather than from one central business district. So in the model, we can see that both letter A and letter G are central business districts, but we can see that letter G is smaller than letter A, but they both are centers. This model was based on the idea that people have greater movement due to increased car ownership. The purpose of this model is to better reflect the complex nature of urban areas. And the distant decay theory is also applicable to this model because the population density and the land value decline with the distance from the central places. Now let's talk about differences between these three types of models. First, both the concentric zone model and the sector model are monocentric, which means both of them have only one center in their models. While the multiple nuclei model is polycentric, which means it has more than one center. Secondly, both the sector model and the multiple nuclei model allow for extension growth, and also they have more categories, because we can see that in the concentric zone model it has only 5 categories, in the sector model it has 6, and in the multiple nuclei model it probably has 10 categories. Furthermore, the multiple nuclei model is more complex in land use zones, such as the suburbs, which is letter H, and the industrial suburbs, which is letter I, in the multiple nuclei model. Moreover, the multiple nuclei model takes into account that the varied factors of decentralization in the structure of North American cities. Now let's review. So what is the name of this model? It is the concentric zone model. And which city in North America did this model apply on? The answer is Chicago. And what is number 1 on this model represent? It represents the central business district. The last question, which model has more than one center? A. The concentric zone model, B. Sector model, and C. Multiple nuclei model. The correct answer is C, the multiple nuclei model. Because on the model we can see that both letter A and letter G are business centers, but letter G is smaller than letter A. So if you answer these questions correctly, I think you get a good idea of what I'm talking about. So thank you for listening.